Alexandra,
Hey, what's up?
what's happening?
Oh, come on, man. How are you doing today?
Sleepy. Sleepy. How are you?
I'm doing good. Just been going kind of, I've been taking it easy because, I had physical therapy yesterday. Hold on, I'm going to turn my camera on in a second. Hold on. Okey-dokey. Ugh,
What's happening?
nothing much. Just been trying to take care of myself and everything, taking it easy and stuff.
Good, good, good.
My allergies starting to bother me. That's what I was doing, taking my allergy medicine.
Mhm.
But I watched a little bit the beginning of the video that you sent me
Okay, damn.
when we were recording because I wasn't on yesterday.
Oh, you saw me yawning and sleeping like right now? Jeez. But it's the real talk show, so I don't really I'm not concerned about it. It's what's really happening.
What I'm gonna do since because I have a lot of good notes from this week, okay?
Okay.
I'm gonna put them when I put them all in the Word doc. I am going to put them with the update from my boss, and then I'm also gonna have us our own separate copy. That way we can have that as well too, because I know I'm going to be working with your son and then some more other students and stuff. So what I wanted to start doing, I know it's getting closer to the 26th. Um, in the meantime, during my professional development hours when I'm working on stuff, I want to try to like put together different things and stuff. Instead of just going freestyling, I want to give it a little bit of structure as far as like, like them searching to be writing about something and different things like that and
Yeah,
stuff.
whatever works for you.
Okay.
Hmm.
That way I can just keep track of everything that I'm working on. But other than that, I just feel like if I review notes, as far as like when we talked about the personality traits, and we went into extroverts, introvert, entrepreneurship, those qualities and stuff. And we also talked about social capital, networking, the quality of your network. That was more earlier in the week. This is just kind of like a recap and stuff.
Okay.
So yeah, that's mostly like because everything else is from last week. So yeah, that's kind of like a recap of our week. And then we also discussed the imposter syndrome, depending on your leadership type, with that place and stuff. I'm still taking notes from entrepreneurship book. That looks like a little book, but it's a lot of stuff in there.
It's jam packed.
Yeah, and I'm doing instead of just writing everything down, I'm organizing my notes as I go because it's a lot easier for me to do it that way.
Okay. That's cool.
Continue with entrepreneurship noting, note taking. I haven't finished my read yet, so this is gonna have to go into next week.
Okay. Are you available to go on the live? I mean, on the Zoom earlier than 4, like during like in the morning time?
Depending on which day. Which day?
Um, Well, because what I'm thinking is if like for now, like for instance, working with Jaden, is best if it's before, that way he can still do the afternoon activities with everybody else. So
Tuesdays and Thursdays, because you know I got my class that I attend Monday and Wednesday. So
and
let me look at the calendar.
yeah.
Will a Tuesday be good?
Yeah. And they don't have to be an hour long either, because that could be a bit long, you know.
Okay, so about next Tuesday, the 26th, 11 a.m.
Okay.
And Jaden, how old is Jaden?
15.
15. Okay. And then that's 11 a.m. with him. And then we go on at 4, right?
What was that?
Then we go on at 4 p.m., right?
Well, that's what I'm seeing. If you could switch it to earlier, that'd be better.
Okay, instead of doing 4 p.m., we're gonna do 11 a.m.
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool
And then when I get other students, and they'll be later, but that way Jaden can still get a session with you and then still participate in the session with the other young people.
Okay, then he can kind of highlight them too. I'll give him like highlights and get him more equipped information since he'll be checking emails. And I didn't want to bombard him or confuse him. So I figured when we first start meeting, then that's when I'm gonna start sending him his emails.
Okay. Yeah.
That's what I didn't want him to get like too many emails.
Yeah.
I wanted to just go along with each other. So yeah, that's what I do. And then he can be like the person that kind of like know everything.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm gonna let him know. Like, you know, you can direct them just in case it comes a day where like, say like it's days where they come in at the 4 o'clock mark, but where we for some reason, if I may be busy that day or just anything that work out for us to meet at that time, Jaden can know exactly what they'll need to do.
Yeah, that'd be perfect. Yeah. So let's just prepare Jaden for like the role of the youth instructor.
Okay.
Yeah, that'd be perfect.
And then as everything gradually come along, then you can start pulling them in and we can decide on the time for them. But Jaden is right now is just fulfilling to like get to know everything. He'll know how to show them how to search for the YouTube videos and you know different things of that and stuff. And that's what I'll prepare him to do.
Yeah, and then also you can have the side conversation about the article, like getting him like interested in writing. That way, because I want him to start writing starting March. So then maybe like kind of you give him, like, you don't have to like whatever, you just give him practice, give him writing prompts to practice, kind of like you mentioned, and then at some point, at some point within the next couple weeks, then we can start talking about what does he want to write specifically for March.
And I will also, I'm going to give him the website for the college website for I work for. And it's with all the newspaper articles. He can look at mine so he can learn the different pieces, like far as opinion piece, hard news articles, opinion piece articles, infographics, and all that type of stuff. It's on there. And I'll kind of, it's easy because
If anything, when you do that, just give him specific ones to go to before you tell him just to browse. Just give him, be like, go to this one specifically, go to that one.
Okay, well, I can work on that too, like from now until Tuesday during the day, probably like on Monday. Okay. I'll find a couple of them. I'm not going to give them too much. I'll probably give him like 2 to start off with.
Okay.
And that'll keep him busy.
Cool.
And I figured that that'll be easier for him to read through, where they're giving him this Chicago Tribune website to
Yeah.
go through. You know what I'm saying? At least with ours, it's like, to me, it'll be easier because that's how I kind of
And
got equipped.
you can give them your articles to read, like that
Sure,
way.
opinion pieces are always easier to start off with. That's what I actually started it off with.
Okay, cool. Well, look, just make them follow your footsteps on it, or however you see fit. You know, whatever
Okay.
you because I think ultimately that this would be a good fit because then, like
And when he'll be 16.
in March.
Oh, so he's gonna be 16. I'm just gonna put him down at 16. He's gonna be 16. His birthday right around the corner.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. And then so like his 16th birthday can be like a big experience for him because he could get his first piece published in the newspaper. He could launch his business. Like, he got a lot.
He
Got a
gonna be a
lot
little
going.
young entrepreneur now. Hold on.
Yeah. I forgot to tell Bessie. He may have another job already too. So like,
Really?
yeah, the Mr. Muhammad gave me a number for a lady to contact that needs someone that can work on the computer and do inventory.
Mm-hmm.
So that might be at a little, like bodega. So that might be a little gig he could do a couple hours a week. So, but yeah, trying to keep him busy. So,
Mm-hmm.
but
And I
yeah, so
actually,
this 16th birthday could be like a big thing for him. That'd be dope. Get an article published on your 16th birthday.
you should have seen me. I was so geeked when I first started getting my articles published. Like, I was telling everybody, like, go read my article. Look, listen. Go read my article. And they was all geeked up and stuff like that too. So
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, that's
yeah,
cool.
it'll be easier for him to navigate that and stuff like that too. But he gonna get comfortable. At first, he gonna feel a little nervous. But what I'm not gonna do is when he started writing. One thing I like about opinion piece articles that it's not all about going back and correcting and trying to make sure that, because that will irritate a writer and that will mess them up. Because when I've learned, like, from different editors, is that different editors, even from teachers, they will correct it the way they want to correct it. So something can be correct to somebody else, and then somebody else will think that it doesn't sound right to their knowledge. And that is confusing and it's irritating.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I learned that through my years of writing. For real.
That's confusing and irritating.
It is like, that's like, okay, like Julian, that's like you hand me something, right? I go over it. I mark it all up with blue ink. It's in pencil. Then you go to your editor for the newspaper. The editor like, why you take that out? You should have left that here. Why you do this? Why you do that? This sounds pretty good. You just needed a couple periods here to separate the sentences. Wouldn't that kind of piss you off a little bit?
Yeah. I mean, I guess, but if you're learning and that's like, you just take all the feedback. Jaden. So I had invited one of my friends into our lives or whatever.
Okay.
So she's asking me where the live at. She might be coming on today, might not. I don't know.
Okay.
But yeah, if she does, then I'll let her introduce herself too. So
I came on here beforehand. I said, well, I'm gonna just hop off and hop back on a little after. I thought maybe I was running late.
Nah, I was like, what I did yesterday was, since I knew that you wasn't coming on, I just came on, I think like at 11 something. I napped longer. So I was like, well, let me nap longer. And then if Alexandra or Daniel does come on, then I'll come on. But I was like mid nap. I'm like, oh my gosh. But it's all good. This is the struggle part. This is the determination part, because I was sleeping, and sleep sounds good. But yeah, so the one I just invited you, she just sent me a video. I haven't gotten to watch it all, about a conversation we had at my old job. It was like,
she works with you, or y'all just friends?
My old job, she used to volunteer.
Oh, okay, awesome.
And you know, it was a conversation about sex, but it was graphic. I'm like, this is like real talk. Now I wasn't the main speaker about it because they was it was talking about like all types of forms of sex, you know, vaginal, anal, and like,
oh wow, that's a little bit.
and it was like an educational video, but it was like educational where like
too informational.
Yeah, like I'm not even like I haven't listened to the whole thing yet, and I'm like, yeah, I don't know about posting this on my social media at this moment because there's kids that are actually like linked to my profile, so this is like super X-rated. So then I get it, you know. So it's funny because like now, granted, that's real talk, right? But yeah, that's super real raw talk. And it's a bit much. It's a bit extra. Hey, did you get it? Did you see my? Let me see. Okay, boom. All right, cool. Thank you. All right. Oh, there you is. There you is. Hey, Melissa.
Hello.
How are
Hi.
you? Look at you with your red hair looking all fiery.
It's been cut now, though. I've cut it since that picture.
Okay. But we were just catching up real quick. So Alexandra's gonna be working with my son during the week. So we're just kind of like, so yeah. So this is Alexandra. Alexandra, tell her about yourself. Tell her where you live, Alexandra, and all that.
Oh, okay. Hi, Melissa. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm fine. Well, I am up north. You know, like by kind of like I'm in the southern Illinois area.
Oh, okay.
But I'm near St. Louis, Missouri. I'm more closest to St. Louis, Missouri than in.
Oh, okay.
But I'm originally from by Chicago area, Rockford, Illinois, to be exact. Right now, I am a teacher's aide, AmeriCorps member for Youth Build. So I like assist, you know, the GED instructors and things like that, and I provide support to students and stuff. I'm also working along with Julian with professional development. I was a writer, and I'm still a writer, but I'm just not a writer for my college newspaper right now. Because I'm in the midst of my GED as well as my associate's degree. But this semester, I put my associate's degree on hold to get my GED completed. And then when I ultimately finish, I'm going to finish with my bachelor's degree.
Hey.
But I say all that to say, like right now, I'm working on my professional development with Julian, and I am going to start working with his son as well as some other teams with their writing, but more specifically with his son because his son is going to be writing with for a newspaper. So I'm going to start him off with opinion piece articles next week, and we're going to be working on that.
Pretty cool.
And Alexandra's also at the same time writing a book.
Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that.
Yeah.
I'm writing a book as well too.
How old is he now, Julian?
What was that?
How old is he now again?
He turned 16 in March.
Wow. I knew him and Dee were close. Like, wow.
Yeah, that's why I was like, oh my God, I can't believe she's 17. Or I thought she was closer in age. I can't believe she's 17 already.
Yeah, next month.
When I first met her, she was a little girl. She was a young, and now she's a grown person, Melissa. She doesn't want to hear that. She's a grown person, Melissa.
You got a 17-year-old.
Well, and I have a 23-year-old.
I got an 18-year-old.
Yeah, my son's 23. He's, you know, yeah, he's good. Like, really.
You got a grown man.
Yes, I do.
Is he still chefing it up with the bakery?
No, he quit doing that. Like,
okay, well, it's a hobby then, I guess now.
Well, no, I'm believing for him to get back to his passion. It's just, you know, too, like he lost a lot of support, you know, like my grandma, my dad, my mom, you know, like everybody supported him. So, you know, he'll find himself back again baking.
Yeah. And he already got the skills, so it doesn't matter. You got to go live some life and get some experiences, I guess.
Yeah. Well, that's exciting to hear about you.
Um, did you want to talk a little bit about what you're gonna put in your book, Alexandra? Now, Melissa is a book herself. Like her whole self is a book, and you'll learn that through time. But
Yeah.
Well,
Huh?
to keep it basic, make a long story short, I'm a domestic violence survivor. So
Me too.
you are okay. So I'm gonna put that. It's gonna be based on that as well as how like my mentor, my counselor, like the department that I am a teacher's aide in. A lot of the individuals has coached me and helped me and been by my side and stuff, to help me, get housed and just everything around the border. So I'm writing a book on terms of all of that, and then kind of how like towards the end, I want to put in there kind of like how Julian has came into my life and started helping me out and what we're developing now and things like that and stuff. So that's kind of how it's going to end. But that's more, of course, the book is going to get deeper, into
Yeah.
everything else. But that's just the,
The
kind of.
gist of it. Domestic violence survivor.
Mm-hmm.
That's good.
Yeah.
and then what'll happen as Alexandra and I have been working, and we developed our relationship. It turned out that it would be a good fit for her to work with the teens that I work with. So then that's where we're starting with Jaden. And then Alexandra's going to be doing so she's a teacher's aide where she's at. And then I'm just calling it a youth instructor, but it's kind of like the same thing. So
Right.
she's going to be developing a curriculum based on all her experiences. And Alexandra loves to read. So she'll go, maybe you can talk about a couple of the books that you read in a minute. So
I let her read.
yeah,
I hate reading.
hey, Melissa, she'll do all the reading for us. That's all. She's good. She got that.
I actually need to start reading though. I really do.
Well, Alexandra would probably have some suggestions. You can see what she
You
likes.
start coming down here more often with us. You'll be reading, won't you, Julia?
For real. Now I do audiobooks these days, but Alexandra likes the traditional, open a book and read.
I've tried the online reading.
Mhm.
I think it bothers my eyes if I stay too long. So I like the old traditional having a light
Right.
with my book way. Yeah.
And that's the way I used to be. But to me, nothing beats throwing some headphones on and being able to do dishes or lay down or whatever it is and just have the book playing. But I do have to admit, I gotta play it more than once because I get distracted and I lose the gist of the book.
Yeah.
So I often have to play a book a couple times for me to really grasp whatever I'm trying to listen to. But I like audiobooks these days. Yeah, so then Alexandra is going to be doing basically like a youth instructor, teacher's aide course where she's going to incorporate her book reading and all her life experience. Basically, all her experiences and what she's going through now and what she wants to do, she's going to be able to tie it in and then create like a course for the teens, but then at the same time do it teen specific. So
Right.
she's kind of arranging a course specifically for Jade. We've talked it over, and then she knows that Jaden's interested in technology, so he's gonna start writing for the paper. So she's gonna be able to give him some prompts on writing, and then she's gonna give him assignments on writing. So it's almost like a virtual teacher on how to become a youth instructor is the way to look for Jaden. And then I have my eyes on some of the teens to see who would be a good fit to be next to work with Alexandra. So Jaden's kind of starting it out. But then my goal is to try to get her the next person. I'm waiting a little bit just because I want whoever I match her with to be interested in wanting to do it. That way it's not dragging or anything.
Yeah.
But with Jaden, it's a good fit. It'll give Alexandra an opportunity to get going and see how it goes. But yeah, so now she's gonna be working with my teens, and I think that's a great thing. Now Melissa's over here locally, so Melissa got a very busy schedule. But when she's able, I would love. I'm excited. I'm excited to have her come through because we used to work before, and Melissa's a solid human being.
What's
Always
up?
comes through. Mhm. You want to
Yeah.
talk a little about yourself, Melissa?
Are you originally from Florida, Melissa?
Well, I can just claim Cleveland on my birth certificate
Mhm.
because I moved here to Florida when I was a baby. So like
Gotcha.
I'm a Florida cracker with a Cleveland birth certificate.
Hey,
That's right.
you should be able to rep Cleveland because I was born in New York and I haven't really rep New York because of the same thing. I left when I was a baby. But
Yeah.
either way, you're from Cleveland too. And maybe what you got to do is go back and like do something for Cleveland and then you can rep Cleveland. That's the way I'm looking at it. I'm like, I'm gonna go to Harlem and I'm gonna do some work over there and I'm gonna like because I want to be able to claim where I was born from. But I don't want to claim it if I wasn't like really spend no time there.
I hear you, but no, I ain't doing no cold. I don't even like the cold hair.
I know
So
you're right. Hey, there's
you
virtual.
ain't-
There's virtual.
yeah, you ain't here to see me in Ohio. So yeah. But I just turned 40 this year.
Happy belated.
Thanks. Team Leo.
That's
We,
right. That's
we in
right.
this house, Team
Oh,
Leo.
and my friend Janelle comes on here too, and she's a Leo. Alexandra, you about to be Leo'd out over here.
I know. I'm a Cancer. I'm a crybaby.
Oh well, I'm a crybaby anyways, cause menopause. But we ain't
They
gonna
say
go
Cancers are crybabies.
there.
Menno
But
who? You're too young for Menno who.
no, let me tell you, no, I'm not. My emotions. Oh boy, look at here. But so actually, I met Julian at where he used to work at AHF, ICANN, the AIDS Network Foundation.
Mhm.
And I've actually been diagnosed wow, going on 18 years.
Oh wow. Wow, time flies.
Yeah.
She
So when I found out when I was pregnant with my daughter, um, so yeah, that was pretty challenging,
Of course.
it's like just going through a lot, but by the grace of God, her dad, he doesn't have it, but he got me to start going to church.
Awesome.
But I just thank God because though sometimes people just come into your life for a season, but we make more of it and we shouldn't. But yeah, so I happily divorced him, not even married a year, but I got saved, my relationship with God, and a negative daughter, which is beautiful. So I'm happy for my blessings. The two most important things I could get out of him.
Mhm.
I've been in domestic violence relationships. My son, I was a junior in high school. So, single mom in high school, going through struggles and everything, but I graduated, stuff like
Awesome.
that. Yeah. So, I did a lot of like education, awareness, going out, sharing my story, my testimony, because I've been through a lot. Should have been dead a couple times. By the grace of God, I'm still here. Uh, and I've been in transition. I've lost my father, my grandmother, I just lost my mom a year
I'm
ago.
so sorry to hear that.
Thanks. But it's hard, but now it's my time to shine. It's now time since I've taken care of them. And I feel like, that was my purpose for my season during that life, to be there for them. I have my angels with me. And now it's time for me to get serious, go back out, start doing my speaking engagements, bringing awareness, not just about HIV, but domestic violence. I had an ex that pulled guns on me. Thank God the gun
jammed
got
up.
jammed. Yeah, the gun got jammed. And, going through trial because I actually testified and pressed charges and all that. So I'm like, whoa, actually did that, like not many women do that, because they're scared, they're afraid. But it was hard going back on stand and everything as well. That's why yeah, so that's about, just wanting to get back out, bringing awareness,
Mm-hmm.
helping others, doing a book as well. I've been talking about, I should have been doing it for a long time, right,
Just
Julian?
Everything
right.
happens at its
Just
time.
just
Yeah.
my mentor, like I feel like at first, like things had to feel so organized. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not like that because my mentor, he told me like a week and a half ago, he was like, just write, just write. And now I'm just writing. Like at first, I kind of organized how I wanted to do my chapters and stuff, but now I'm just writing. So when I get done, I can go through and I can put things where they belong. But that's part of what the editor will be doing too. You know what I mean? But how I'm going to do it, and I'm just going to continue to write. I know I'm not near finished. I'm doing pretty good with it now.
I hear you. I hear you, girl, because I got 18 years of different things I've gone through, like just being diagnosed, not,
Right.
previous, not what led me up to it, not what I went through like in middle school and, high school, being bullied, picked on, different things, insecurities and stuff like that,
Mhm.
that led up to being, like promiscuous and finding love in wrong places and stuff like that. So it's, like I want to write about learning how to find your true love and fighting those battles when you feel insecure and
Mhm.
alone. Um, yeah, so
And another thing I wanted to add about when Melissa says volunteering, like I think that's like an understatement because it's like you dedicated your life to speaking. Like, I mean, it was like a full time.
That's more of
It
like
was like a
a
twin. It's
leadership. That's like a leadership role. Like
like a
to
public
me,
figure type. You know how they got people with public figure and yeah.
volunteering, I don't even really care for that word. I like to use the word, I would rather use the word service leadership or leadership service or something like that because it's more to it than just volunteering. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
that's dedication. It
yeah.
don't matter if somebody picking up trash off the ground or you know what I mean, or like coming to speak. Like that's you dedicating yourself to something.
Yeah. So
Actually, you know what, Julian, because of us going out and doing like the surveys and that at FGCU, can you believe that I still go to the social and humanities class
okay.
and do speaking there every semester?
Nice, nice.
Now, do
Yeah.
you ever go live, like when you speak and do your speakings and stuff like that? Like, do you ever go live?
No,
How-
because like I haven't gone live only because some places like at the church, I've been to a couple different churches and youth groups. Um, Even though I could just probably have it on me, and do the speaking, I just haven't because of, like where I'm at. And if some of the kids ask questions,
Right.
I want it like personal and kind of confidential because if I'm on live and I don't know, one of the parents is on my Facebook page watching it and the
got you,
kids talking
got
about
you.
sex or, different things, like I don't,
You rather keep it confidential and more privacy to make them feel comfortable.
right. Because too,
That's
like at the
understandable.
college, like I've gone to the college and college like settings are a little different, but then I've actually had um students, a couple, I'm just going to say students, come up to me afterwards and actually tell me though too that they were just recently diagnosed and like how my story impacted them, touched them, and but what I do get, the teacher or the professor has the students, she asks them questions about the
Mhm.
presentation, and then she has the students reply, and then she sends me a copy of the responses.
Mm.
And I think Alexandra, I think like Melissa is in a place in her life now where she like with the way the internet and technology has turned out because it wasn't like this like going live wasn't popular when we were really hanging out. Like, it was like, remember, it was like the
Right.
beginning of going live. But now I think when she was saying it's her time to shine, like, I really believe that, because she could literally go on her live right now if she wanted and just start talking. And that's like when we
Of
were talking,
course,
I
you
was
got
like,
a very impactful, like very impactful, and I haven't even heard your story yet.
Thanks.
she's a natural. She's a natural.
Yeah, I used to go live a lot and and share things. Because I also used to be on like 23 different medicines and like just all over the place. Like it was crazy. And
And that's a whole other story right there about like the medicine. That's a whole.
Now, you got it like limited parts of your medication and things like that now? Like, how is that going for you?
Oh, well, I don't take medication like that no more.
Okay, good.
I'm like, no. So all I take is my HIV med. I take Wellbutrin, some vitamins, and like that's it. And I'm changing my diet, and stuff, eating healthier and whatnot. So yeah, but like all those other meds, no.
I don't blame you. 23 different medications. That'll
Yeah,
make me think along. Like, I might as well just lay in the bed all day.
pretty much, but hey, I'm still here. So,
I know that's right.
yeah, but yeah, so I'm gonna start going live because too, somebody's been telling me like getting a YouTube channel and everything like that going and talking about my journey. And then Julian reached out, messaged me on Facebook, and I'm like, and I haven't replied back. I just replied back today. And I'm like, what are the odds, So I'm looking forward, to this new adventure. And
we come on nightly. Sometimes, which happen like not so often. Like, I'll kind of miss a day or maybe 2 days because of what I got going on and stuff. But who else comes on here with us? It's just
Daniel mostly comes on. Camille's been a minute.
Camille, it's been a minute for her to come, but majority of the time it'll be me or Julian and Daniel, because Daniel has been coming a lot lately too. And what we can do, like we'll talk, and it's more based off everything that we're doing is professional development. Whether we're talking about my story, your story, what Julian has to say, because it's beneficial for individuals in the world to know, and I think that us collaborating together on here, I think that'll be a really good eye opener for a lot of individuals. And we can market our audience, whether we want to market our audience for more teen-based, young adults. I think to just be open to all, if you ask me, because you can get some younger individuals who are way more mature than an older individual. You know what I mean?
Ain't that the truth?
Right.
Like, I know some 40-year-olds that they still be going to the club and having a party and they're acting just like they kids and they grandmas now. Like,
right.
What? What are you teaching your kids? What are you going to be teaching your grandkids? So everybody can learn, believe that, and change for the better.
Yeah, and then one of the things that I like about the Zoom is like it is kind of live, but you see we don't have an audience, and I like that, by the way, because I like being able to talk to another person, and then eventually everybody can hear it on their own. Because like yesterday I came on by myself, and I take a nap before I do this, but the naps like seems like it's never enough. Like I always want to stay napping.
He be coming on here. That's why he be having this mask on. I be knowing when he be.
I be yawning.
Feel like this. I be like, look at him trying to act like he paid, like he sitting up straight. He just do this. That's his comfort mode.
Yeah. So one of the things that I've learned by coming on every day is that me personally, I like to be able to talk to somebody. Like I like talking to Alexandra or Daniel or someone, and then I don't mind if there's an audience or not. So I've been telling Alexandra, so let me give you a history of how this turned out. So back in November 5th was the first episode we used to call it the real talk. No, the taboo free talk show.
Yeah, taboo free talk show.
Yeah. Welcome to the Taboo Free Talk Show, where we talk about anything and everything. I am your host, Crown Jules.
And I am your co-host, Alexandra.
Blocked. And so we had that was like the old intro. And then this intro is like, I like the first one. I'm gonna just say that. I like the first one, but this one's like, tune in, the real. Tune in. The Black Hair Party presents the Real Talk Show, where we talk about friendship, love, and purpose. Friendship has everything to do with aura. Love is more, and purpose is about saving time. I am JRX36.
I am Alexandra.
And this is an All Ages Alliance production. So that's like the intro for the second one. But all that to say that the first show was about, so I'm part of a youth group called Youth Build, and I was trying to create like a show.
I can still hear you. I just gotta cut this food off, okay?
Go ahead.
All right.
So I was creating like a talk show where the young people can come in and we can talk about anything and everything. That was the idea behind it. And then with the bigger vision behind it, that we can collect stories. So eventually the goal was for teen or youth build participants or anybody to come in. We can kind of do like an interview, collect their story, create a profile, this is like my bigger vision in general. Like, I'm in the business of collecting stories. We're just practicing right now. So like, this is the Real Talk Show, and we're just practicing. The last show was practice, but once it's not practice anymore, what I really want to do is collect people's stories. So I would one day want to collect your story, and that means we'll like interview you, whatever, get enough information where we can create like a profile for you if that's what you wanted. Because I think that, or I would want my children to read about real people, not just like history books about people that they never knew, or like, I want real people, real stories, because real people have real stories that have a real impact in our communities for real. Now, I'm not taking away from like other people, but I don't know them. So I rather like collect stories of people that are familiar to me or that are connected in this generation. So to be more specific, I'm interested, or part of the work that my son is going to be doing, because like my job has been kind of like preparing my son to take over what I've been doing. So we've been working on some projects. I'd like to do a time capsule of one generation. And then this is the generation that I'm living in. So the idea would be, so in the time capsule, we'll have Alexandra's story, her book, all her contribution. D. Steezy, Daniel, he does music. So, and in addition, like, he comes on here. So I'd like to have content from Daniel in the time capsule. And I know that there are a lot of great people out there that have like great stories. So I want to be able to collect the stories so that 100 years from now, there's content about real people that lived, and then that future generation can learn something from us. And the reason I'm so concerned about that is because I don't have faith in the current system to share our stories. You know, like, think about our great grandparents, right? That they probably had amazing stories. Or people.
But they didn't. But think about it, like back then too. Like, it was no technology. You know, like, people really didn't even care for phones like that. You know, like, rich people probably were the ones who had phones. You know, like, I don't know. It's just
and it seems like only influential people are the ones that are able to pass their stories down. Like, and for the most part, people's stories get lost in history. And then now we think, okay, well, you know, everybody can make content, but I don't know if you've known, like, did you ever have a MySpace?
Yeah, I think so, but it's been, I think I did have a MySpace, because I remember I used to have the little music. You know how you can have your pictures up there with the music, and every day I go in there and change my song and stuff.
Yeah, I spent a lot of hours on my MySpace. I used to, how about Black Planet? Y'all go back that far?
No, I didn't have a Black
Melissa?
Planet.
How about
No.
Mi Gente? Was it called Mi Gente?
No, what's that?
That's like a Black Planet. Anyway, so I spent like mad hours trying to like make the profile cool, put my own information. And that's gone. Like my MySpace is gone. I got Facebook because Facebook is still relevant. But what happens when Facebook isn't relevant? Like all that can just disappear. And then I'm thinking about,
I gotta get all my photos and videos.
right, because like I didn't think about that when it came to MySpace, and eventually I stopped using it, and then it just disappeared. Like I tried to find it, and the last time I found it, like it was like just a basic profile. All the details or all the other work was gone, because I guess they maybe cleaned their servers. I don't know what they did. But my point is, think about how many cell phones you've had where you got pictures in the cell phones, and then now you don't got the phone anymore, and then those pictures are kind of like gone. Now now people are like uploading to the cloud space, but my point is that real quick we're going to be in a situation where even though we had access to all this technology, it seems like most people's stuff disappears, or it, like we're not keeping up with it the way that we should. So I want to be able to collect stories and basically do a time capsule and be conscious of it. So it's like, okay. And then also I think it's like a good motivator for people. It's like, okay, you're alive now, right? If you got 3 minutes, what would you want to share with the people from 2120, or 2121? Oh, wow. It'll be 2121, 100 years. And I think that at least even for you, I know for me, it has motivated me to live my best life. Like, okay, what's the best way that I can live so that I can have a life story that's worth learning about in 100 years? So then that's kind of what I would like for these shows to ultimately be able to turn into, is like a way of just talking to people. Some people are going to get interviews, some people are going to just come and ask questions, but at the end of the day is an opportunity to connect with other human beings who are having a positive impact on the world. And if they want to be able to like have that story be shared 100 years from now, then that would be something that I would want to do, of regular real people. So yeah, so then we started with the Taboo Free Talk Show. And then Daniel, he also went through that program that I was telling you about. And Alexandra did a question that triggered us to like start the new one. So basically Alexandra was talking about if you would start a nonprofit. And look, this is relevant to you because I think I've heard you talk about this before, wanting to start your own nonprofit, Melissa.
Yeah.
Yeah, so then that's kind of the question that Alexandra brought up, and that kind of like made me feel comfortable with moving. So Youth Build is a program that I went through, and they have new leadership that moved in a new direction, and I am not in agreement with the new direction and how they did it, right? So then that's how I created like a Facebook page to kind of like be able to hold on to some of the old ideas. However, I wasn't necessarily trying to, so people knew that we were doing the lives or whatever, the Zooms, but I wasn't trying to pressure no one into showing up or anything. But Daniel started showing up, and then Daniel did go through the program. Alexandra is not a Youth Build graduate, but she works with the Youth Build program, so that's her connection to it. But that night that we had that conversation, like I felt like it was like kind of like closure, because I guess me and Daniel connected at a deep level, and he kind of understands the mission. So we put it on pause. So by putting it on pause, then we created a new show, which is the Real Talk Show, where then it's kind of like it was a way of us separating from Youth Build, and then this is like more available to everybody. Like It's not just about Youth Build, even though we had Youth Build Alliance, which was like Friends of Youth Build, but then the Real Talk Show was more like it's our own thing where we don't have to necessarily attach ourselves to the Youth Build program. And then we've been doing this. This is like Jaden. I can't remember what day number we on. Jaden. Oh, he might be sleeping. So I can't remember. We may be like in, you know what number we on, Alexandra? Like 31.
I have no idea because we started in November. And we just we ended up starting. I filled out the form and stuff. But my boss confirmed that I could work with Julian, you know, for professional development and everything. And like I was like, okay, boom. I just went full course with it, didn't I, Julian?
That's right. That's right. So we did like 43 sessions with the Real Talk, with the Taboo Free Talk Show. And then we're on like 31 or 32 with this one. And then, so what I told Jaden, Alexandra, was when we get to 43 of this one, then I want him to join the numbers to make it like, so instead of 44 of the Real Talk Show, it'll be 70 something, number 70 something. So then we'll unite the numbers. And then that's where we are now. And then, like I told you, Melissa, earlier, like I'm ready to go live, right? But I'm waiting for Alexandra to like say the magic words, whatever those words may be. I don't know yet. But I really do like, and then so when I decide to go live, I still want to do the Zoom and have like a separate phone to go live, but I want to talk to the Zoom, but then let the live be able to see me. Does that make sense? Because I want my attention to be on the Zoom, and then if people are on the live, then eventually maybe I can tell them to go to the Zoom or whatever. But I'm looking at the live as a way of capturing what I'm doing, but maybe not necessarily talking to that audience, even though I don't mind talking to that audience. But I like the idea of focusing my attention on what's going on here more so, because it's hard to like read the chat and talk at the same time. So by focusing on here, then it's easier to do it, I think, because then Alexandra might be able to see the chat if it's, you know, it's easier that way. So that's kind of like the history of how this turned out. And then Alexandra and I mostly talk about purpose. Like, you know, out of friendship, love, and purpose, we mostly talk about purpose. So Alexandra likes talking about the future. Alexandra loves talking about the future. I love talking about the future. And then what that means is like we're always like plotting, or, you know, or just like we call it professional development, but we're always just talking about things that we're working on, and like, so we're talking about things we want to do. And then when Daniel comes on, we mostly always talk about love and friendship. And then, so it's the energy changes and shifts depending on who we're talking to and what we're talking about. But Daniel is from California, and he's very in tune with the progressive culture, where there's like polyamory, ethical non-monogamous. There's like all these terms. They're strange to us here on this coast, but California is very progressive about like all these words that got to do with gender, and how people identify, and then how it relates to relationships. So it brings a different kind of conversation out. You're like,
yeah, I would love to hear those kind of conversations. Like,
we be just talking.
Well, no, because like,
time on here.
Well, no, because like today, a thing, I guess Biden. See, I'm not whole into the whole LGBT community and the transgender and all that. You know, like,
non-binary is what you're gonna say?
Huh?
Non-binary? Were you gonna say that?
No. What I was gonna say is, I guess Biden, with
Oh,
him now being
excuse me, and it
president.
might get cut off, but go ahead and finish. So it's less than a minute left. So if anything, I'll see you tomorrow. So go
Dang
ahead.
it. Oh, well, he's supposed to approve that same gender, like based on your gender identity, that boys can go in girls' bathrooms, if that's how you identify as. My daughter goes, well, there goes the girls' rights, because a lot of boys are going to say now that they're gay or transgender to go into girls' bathrooms.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that will we may have time tomorrow to talk about that.
You coming out here tomorrow, Melissa?
I will definitely try. What's
Okay.
tomorrow, Friday?
Yeah.
It's
So
all right.
I'll
Oh,
be
you ain't no
driving back from
Sarasota.
I'll be driving back from Sarasota from church.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
okay.
no
okay.
pressure. We can pick up that conversation then.
Make
So-
sure we send her the videos then. You know how you send me the video, Julian? Try to send her the videos. Like if she's not able to make it tomorrow, just send her a video.
I don't know. I might be able to just tune in while I'm driving on the interstate, coming home. It can give me something to do while I'm driving.
There you go.
Okay.
And I might join you on one of your trips on a Friday. That might be cool to go to Sarasota. You go and come
How
back
far
the
is
same
that?
day.
It's an hour and 12 minutes.
You go
Yeah.
and come. Okay. And then
I
you
just
go
go
to church, right?
Yeah, I just go to church and come back.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
That's what's up.